It's really, really nice. Okay. Today we are going to start with AS paper, okay, 9609/23, winter 2016. And this is the paper, and we have a case study. And the case study is about exam success ES. So exam success ES is created by Amaya. Amaya is a sole trader, okay? We need to know that she is a sole trader. Okay. I'm having some difficulties with this. Okay, but now that I want to highlight, okay, I'm not going to highlight. Amaya is a sole trader who owns and manage ES. Amaya was a teacher for 20 years. She decided to leave teaching and start up ES to offer individual tuition for students in their own homes. For the first year, Amaya was the only worker tutoring students for business qualifications. In the second year, she used methods of selection to choose 2 teachers to join her team. This meant that ES was also able to offer individual tuition in mathematics and science. ES has now been trading for 5 years. Figure 1 shows the revenue for ES from the first 5 years of trading. So we can see that in the first year, she was earning £10,000, and the second year, the revenue increased to £30,005 a year. The third year was £40,000, and there is a decrease in year 4 and a decrease in year 5. Amaya is concerned about the fall in revenue for individual tuition in students' own homes. She has forecasted a fall of 20% in revenue for year 6. So 20% in revenue for year 6. So she forecasted a fall of 20%. In response to this, Amaya has done some secondary market research using web-based sources to find out the information shown in Table 1. So household with a reliable internet connection was 75%. Number of competitors providing tuition in students' home are 6. Number of business selling internet tuition courses are 1. Average profit margin for tuition in student homes is 15%. And average profit margin for internet courses is 35%. Based on this market research, Amaya has the idea to develop a new range of internet courses. Each student would pay a monthly fee to ES to be able to access the course on a website. Amaya will need to pay a business to create the website for ES, but she believes that if the internet courses are successful, they could be sold across the whole country. So, define the term sole trade in line 1. What is sole trade? Giving you 1 second or 2 to think about it. Shall we write it? Shall you write the answer? So, a sole trader is a person who sets up and own their own business. Okay? So they may decide to employ other people, decide or not, to hire or to employ, I'll say, to hire people, but they are the only owner. There are no sharer. Okay, no one would share the startup they have. Okay, so they to hire people, but they are the only. I'm sorry for the writing. The only owner. Okay, a sole trader. So they have as sole traders, or no, I will better say, the sole trader has, okay, the sole trader has unlimited liability. Okay. So, as a sole trader, your business is owned entirely by you, grown by you, and ultimately succeeds or fails by you. Okay, it depends on how you manage your business. This is also means you are entitled to all profits that the business makes. So, all profits belongs to you. I will write that. This is the meaning of unlimited liabilities. All profits belongs to the sole trader. Okay? And becoming a sole trader is simple. All you have to do is to register your business name, and you can start. Can start trading. In UK, I have been said that to set a business, you have to register to. The name is Her Majesty. You have to register to Her Majesty. Let me think about it. I wrote it somewhere to just remember. Revenue and Customs. Her Majesty, Revenue and Customs. So, Her Majesty, Revenues and Customs in UK. Okay, so the benefits of being sole trader are any profit after tax that business make is yours. You have full control over your business, and you can improve customer service as you are all by yourself. Okay, no one will take your place, and you can manage to have a good relationship with your customers. Accountants charge less. Okay, the accountants charge less. Why? Because you just need to fill a form for your revenues and profits. That's it. It's not like a big company where the accountants would charge you a lot of money. So as a sole trader, the accountant will charge you less more than a big company or a corporation. Or if you feel like taking a day off, you can. If you want to work until 11 p.m., you can. It's all yours, and the liabilities are yours as well. Okay, if you have a loan, you have to pay it by yourself. Okay, so that adds some pressure over it. Okay, so I think we talked a lot about it. Now let's see the second question, which is briefly explain the term methods of selection. What is method of selection in line 4? Let's go back to line 4 and look for it. Okay, so here, for the first year, Amaya was the only worker tutoring student for business qualification. In the second year, she used method of selection to what? To choose two teachers. Okay, so she used method of selection to select, to choose, to hire two persons. So the method of selection is a way, actually, to hire someone. So you have different methods. This section, okay, the process of selection, I'm going to write it here in this section. So the process, okay, of selecting candidates, okay, candidates, you hire, of course, candidates you hire. Candidates is the method of selection. So a variety of methods of methods are available oops, sorry, okay, let's erase it completely, are available and consideration and consider need to be given as to which no as to which sorry, I'm struggling with this writing now with this pen, are suitable for a particular role. This includes, so you have the different methods that you have is application form that have replaced recently the CVs. I put as well CVs. What is the difference between application form or CVs? Back in the time, we used to give CVs to get hired in companies. But as now, companies are more precise in the way they are selecting people. They would just need an application form to be filled to compare between the applicants. So what you have is a series of questions in the application form that every applicant need to fill. So the company would compare between applicant 1 and applicant 2 and see the one that is more suitable for the company. So the benefit of using an application form from the organization's perspective is that it ensures that the same information is gained from all candidates, which help to achieve a level of consistency in the shortlisting process. The CVs, in the other hand, are sometimes not filled the way the companies are asking. So they prefer to go for application forms. So the second method is online screening and shortlisting. So what is online screening and shortlisting? Online application to jobs can generally be split into two types. An application form then is sent to an email address within the prospective company, or an ATS, applicant tracking system. Okay, I will write it here, applicant tracking system. The later places the application into a database that can be used to filter the candidates and handle the various processes of application stages. These sections explain the usage of ATS. Okay, so initial screening of applicant is usually based on an assessment of candidates. So here there is an assessment of candidates. And sometimes this screening, applicants trading system or a screening, may be useful in a way of filtering quickly through a huge volume of applications. Sometimes you have like 300 or 400 applicants and you can't have time, and you don't have time to look at them all. So what you do is to use this screening and shortlisting. It may be difficult to ensure that the keywords or criteria used in the search do not overlook any applicant, which could potentially be really good for your company. But this is a way, among others, okay? You do have, after an application form, sometimes the companies would ask you to do interviews, okay? So you do have structured interviews. Sometimes where the interviewee is selected by 3 members sometimes. So structured interviews as the most effective type of interviews. The interview process is formed through identification of the key requirements. So I put here key requirement. Okay. So key requirement of the job, and a list of questions is drawn up. A panel of interviewers work through each set of questions. So sometimes you are interviewed by just one person, or you can be interviewed by 3 or 4 or even 6 persons. You have also psychometric testing. Psychometric testing. And here sometimes companies give a questionnaire, a psychological questionnaire or a test. The applicant would fill to measure their psychology and their IQ and their stability, mental stability, the requirement that they are looking for. So a range of attributes, okay? So they need a range of attributes. So through this psychometric testing, they would find the most suitable person for them. So the question is about, let's write a little bit of it, the general intelligence, or IQ, general intelligence. Oh, okay, I'm struggling with that, I'm sorry. I have to erase it, okay. And then the verbal abilities, because it's really important that you are fluent and you know how to respond to sometimes to your customer, or how to negotiate ability, a contract and everything. And sometimes you are looking for numerical abilities. I'll do the same here. Sometimes spatial ability. Mechanical ability. You have several actually, okay? Sensory and motor sensibility. Okay. Spatial. Okay. Let's go further and answer to the next question. Refer to figure 1 and information on line 10 and 11 and calculate the forecast revenue for year 6. We've read already that Amaya is concerned about the fall in revenues for individual tuition in student homes. She forecast a fall of 20% in revenue, okay? So a fall of 20% means that she has less 20%, okay, of the revenues from year 5. If she forecasted a fall in year 6, it means that she needs what? The revenue in year 5. So the revenue in year 5, you can see it in here in the table, is £25,000, okay? This is the revenue in, and I will write it here as well. So the revenue in year 5, it's £25,000 a year. So it means that in year 6, it will be 25,000 minus 20% of 25,000. This is the meaning, okay? So let's calculate this. So revenue in year 6 equal 25,000. This is year 5 minus 20% of 25,000 equal, let's see how much I calculate this, equal 20,000, okay, equal 25,000 minus 5,000, 5,000 being that, so revenue in year 6 equal £20,000. So explain 2 ways Amaya might increase the forecast revenue. The forecast revenue is, let's go back. Sometimes you can just look at this table. Look at this table. The first year, the revenue increased. The second year, the revenue increased as well. But starting from the third year, it was starting to decrease. Okay? So it means that it's not going good. It's going bad. And it's going down again and again. So here, to forecast, you sometimes use a market research, or you just use your own data, okay? And let's go. Oh. Okay. Now I need to get rid of that. Oh, sorry. I don't know what I did here. Sorry, can you help me? I don't know what I touched. Go back to it. Oh, thank you. I was scared. For a moment, I was scared. Okay, let's go back. go here. So what was the question? Explain 2 ways Amaya might increase the forecast revenue. So to increase forecast revenue, what do you think Amaya should do? She is going home. She hired 2 people, but do you think it's enough for her? So she might, to increase her her revenues, we've seen that from the table, this table, household with a reliable internet connection is 75%. And we are seeing that average profit margin for tuition in student homes is 15%. But the average profit margin for internet courses is 35%. That brings Amaya to think about going on internet courses, as there is more profit in doing online courses than doing student homes tuition. Okay, so we looked at the profit margin within internet course is more than the double of average profit margin. That's first of all. We can advise her to go on for online courses rather than going to home. It will save her time, and it will save her, for example, cost of déplacement. How do you say? Oh, cost of travel. Okay, and a lot of cost actually, and just share her courses from home. That's the first idea. The second idea, she has only 2 teachers, okay, helping her. Why not hiring more teachers and having more subjects to cover, okay? So let's write all those suggestions. So the first suggestion, okay, what's happening? Okay, let's take the pen. First suggestion is to develop new subject. Okay. No, there is no point here. Secondly, she can hire more teachers. Third, she can offer online courses. Okay. Maybe reduce the price if she's giving lessons from online, and that would save her money from traveling and everything. So she can reduce the price, of course, if the price is elastic. Okay. Or she can, she reduced the price and raise courses. Oops. Or she can increase the price if the price is inelastic. Inelastic. Oh, sorry. I will write that again. Okay. So, but she has to offer something others that doesn't offer, okay, to be able to increase the price. Otherwise, it's not possible. So she has to find like a blue ocean for her. I don't know if you are, you know, the blue ocean. I will talk about it next time. But it means that she can increase the price if she can offer something better than others, okay? Others can't offer. So this is the blue ocean. For example, promote ES, look at, okay, we'll write it, make advertising in local newspaper, or TV or radio, or just going door by door and send posters, okay, or etc. It depends on her ability and her money. She has money or not. Increase the distribution outlet. For example, sell through local schools or local colleges, some online courses, increase the distribution. No, sorry. Outlets. Oh, okay. Alors, example, colleges or schools. Okay, put posters in colleges and schools as well. Okay, so people would just not ignore her and know her. So the next question is analyze the advantage and disadvantage to Amaya of using web-based sources of marketing research. Okay, so what is a marketing research first? A marketing research is study to better know your market. Okay, it means that you have to research your market to be able to cover it, or to have a market penetration. It means that you need to know it better by knowing the trends, knowing your customer, knowing your competitors, and knowing the psychology of your customers as well. So market research consists of systematically gathering data, okay, about people or companies, a market, and then analyzing it to better understand, okay, what that group of people needs. The result of market research, which all are usually summarized in a report, can help business owners make more informed decision about the companies. Okay, so the advantage of using web-based source of market research for Amaya, it's not going through a company that would make you pay for it. It's just going online using, for example, Google or whatever, to look for your for what have been done, okay, or what have been published on internet. One advantage of using that is it will cost you less money. It's the most important thing, okay? The second one is, if you give it to a company that would make a market research for you, they will, first of all, charge you a lot. And second, they will take a lot of money. But going by yourself on internet will make you make it quicker. Okay, quicker research and quicker result. Okay. Oh, sorry. Results. Okay. What else? Sometimes you can, for example, if you are analyzing a company, this company would publish the last accounting, or the last, how can I say, publishing results of what they did last year. So you have the most recent numbers. Okay. So as Amaya is doing is wanting to go online, so it's online that she should go and search for. For example, she needs to know the people that are doing online studies and online courses, and she needs to see as well the trends others that her competitors are doing, and she might have a lot of information of how people are effective in their lessons. She can as well cover what they are not covering. So going online is a must for her as okay. So web-based research are more accurate for her, effective for Amaya, as she is doing, as she is doing a web-based project. Okay. So what is the disadvantage? This is advantage. The disadvantage, sometimes people are lying about their numbers, so you can't really rely on the numbers and the results that of the market others are publishing. So market research. For example, lastly, I was studying a company, and in two websites, I found two different databases about those financial results of this company. I did not know which one I have to trust because they were completely different. Shall I trust the website number one or the website number two? But I had to go, for example, to another website, okay, and to the company website to look at the publishing financials database, to compare between that and the two others. And I had to make a decision: do I need to follow those or not? Okay, so the market research web based are sometimes not trustful, have sometimes no validity. Okay. In market research, you do have primary data and secondary data. What is primary and what is secondary data? Primary data is what you do, you as experimentation, to know like what you do, like research about the trends, about to know better your the profile of your customer, and sometimes you need to you need to know the habit of your customer. You need to do primary data. Primary data consists of surveys. I'm going to put them here. You know what is a survey? It's like it's like a paper that would be given to people to have answers about their trends, their habits, their behavior, their preference, and everything. And then you calculate or you estimate the trends and behavior of people. You have focused group, and in the focused group, you sometimes go, for example, to houses or to study a group of people in their environment, where you can focus on their behavior or their trends or their habits or their way of eating or way of drinking, what they like, what they don't like. But you focus on this group actually. And you have also in-depth interviews. In-depth, oh, where should I write it? In-depth interviews. You have as well observations. Okay. Those are primary data. Primary data. Secondary data is what you find online or provided by the government or provided by companies, like result of it has been done, or provided online by researcher. Those are secondary data, is what has been done by others that you can use. Data published by official source. Okay. This is official sources. This is secondary data. So, for example, if the government would give you the trends of people because they did a national survey, that would be a secondary data. Okay, the next question is, recommend whether Amaya should develop a new range of internet courses and justify why. As we said before, she should do that. She should develop a range of internet courses. Why? Because we have seen that her numbers, her revenues are decreasing. And we have seen that from the table. Let's go to the table upstairs. Above. Look here. So we can see that going online is 35%, and not going online, going home, the revenue would be 15%. The profit margin would be just 15%. And she's only there are only 3 teachers, okay, providing science. Let me see. To offer individual tuition, has now trading for 5 years. So, okay. Teaching student for business qualification. The second year, they use method of, no, okay. Based on the market research, Amaya has an idea to develop a new range of internet courses. Each student would pay monthly fees, and Amaya will need to pay business to create the website. Okay. And the question was, let's go down. Recommend whether Amaya should develop a new range of internet courses. Justify your answer. So, if you have a range of internet courses, you will have more students. If you have more students, you will have more revenues. Even if you have more teachers to pay them, but actually you will have a range of lessons, and you can do as well different lessons that have not been covered by others, and creating a blue ocean. So online. So let's write here, take the pen and arguments. Oh, why is not working? Argument to Amaya. Amaya. So, online market has less competitors, like as we saw above. Online market has less competitors than individual. Okay, you can see it here. So, number of competitors providing tuition student is 6. And number of business selling internet tuition is only 1. So she can use this opportunity to create her own website and internet tuition courses. So she has only 1 competitor. Okay, and if she offers different range of internet courses than her competitors, so she might have a lot of students online. Okay, so online lessons have less competitors. Okay, online lessons have more profit. Online lessons have a higher profit margin. Okay. We know that 75% of people have internet. Why not use that? Have internet. So it's of household, okay? Sorry. So 25% of household. All have internet, effective internet. That would help. And the chance to develop ES beyond Amaya hometown. Okay, she can do it online for the town, but people from outside the town can connect as well. So she would have a bigger market, actually, bigger market online, and she doesn't need to travel. Okay, more than just the town. More. Oh, sorry. So you can add that as an argument than her own hometown. Okay. And the last one is use of online course may lead to student choosing to purchase individual tutoring as well. Because, for example, if they see that these lessons will benefit them by asking teachers to come to home, they might be able to switch from online to home courses. Okay. The disadvantage is likely to face more competition than just the business in her hometown, because in her hometown she has only 1 person, 1 competitor, but outside the town, okay, let's argument to Amaya. Alors, disadvantage. Advantage is more competitor outside, more competitors in national scale. Okay, and to start a website is quite costly. And you have to update it every time. And the updates, she might not be an IT person. And if you are not an IT person, you are lost in this millennium era. Okay. So she has to secure the internet courses, but could she easily be hooked, copied, or download? Okay. So it's dangerous to go online. If there is no firewall, if there is no protection. Oh. Okay. Protection against what? Against copy. Oh, did you bring the thing for the battery, please? I need that. No. Where is the? I'm connected. It's not working.
Mine is charging.
Mine is not. Okay, it's not charging. Low battery. Yeah, it's not. Okay. Okay. Now we need 5 minutes. Let's go to charge this laptop.
If we can do our last question.
Brought another one.
That's the old charger. This one's not working
It's not working now.
because of this.
Oh, now it's working. Perfect. Thank you, guys.
So what you can do.
Okay, let's go further. You're on this phone. YP is a public limited company that manufactures mobile cell phone. YP phones are sold to a large retailers who then brand them as their own products. YP uses a capital-intensive flow production process. Computer-aided manufacturing, CAM, and mass customization allow YP to produce different design of phone on the same product line. YP's managers have differing opinions about the recent success of the company. The operation director, Khan, is pleased with the economies of scale from which YP benefits. Okay, so we need to highlight the economy of scale. But is it working with the app? Okay, why is it not? Let's see. Okay. D'accord. However, Jay, the finance director, is worried about the liquidity position. Okay. Liquidity indicator, current asset including inventory. Okay. Current asset excluding inventory. This is nice. We need to, oh, I'm not having a highlighter, but we have to understand those. So current asset, what is asset? Including inventory. So means that you don't neglect the inventories. It's your assets, what you have, plus inventory. Current liabilities is loan or what you have to pay, okay? Current ratio is a rapport. It's a rapport between a division between current asset excluding inventory and current liabilities. Asset test ratio is current asset minus inventory on current liabilities. Okay, and I'll tell you what is asset test ratio used for. YP has only sold phones to national retailers, but an opportunity has arisen to sell into another market country, A. A large retailer from country A. A large retailer from country A would like to make regular purchases from YP. Khan knows that YP can increase production to meet this demand by introducing a new production line. However, YP would also need to gain more international business to make this new production line profitable. The marketing director has no experience of international markets and is concerned about the distances between marketing to national retailers compared to retailers in other countries. Define the term capital intensive. What is capital intensive? Let's write that. I'll give you 2 or 3 more seconds. Use it using a capital intensive, different from labor intensive. So industry requiring a large sum of investments in purchase, maintenance, and amortization of capital equipment. For example, they need to buy a new equipment, such as automotive, petroleum, and steel industry. Capital-intensive industries need a high volume of production and high margin of profit to be able to provide adequate return on investments. Okay, so capital-intensive is industry needs a high volume of production and a high margin of profit to be able to provide adequate return on investment. Okay. So, according to the scan, so companies, where am I going to? Oh, sorry. So, capital intensive means that the companies that are using companies. Oh la la. So this is companies or industry or industries requiring large sums of investment Okay, in purchase, maintenance, sorry. Oh la la. Maintenance. You closed it off. Maintenance or amortization. Amortization means buying new equipment. Amortization of capital equipment. So those companies, capital equipment, such as automotive, okay, petroleum, or steel company. Companies. So capital-intensive industries need a high volume of production and a high margin of profit to be able to provide adequate return on investment. Okay, so shall you write that as well? I'm struggling to write it. I'm sorry. So capital-intensive industries require a high volume, okay, a high volume margin of profit to be able to provide adequate return on investment. Okay, so what is the term of flow production? I don't know if you've been following us, but last time we did batch production, we did flow production, we did as well job production. So what is job production? Briefly explain the term. So flow production, it was what is not job production or mass production or batch production, okay? So you do have just write that small job production. Alors, so it is not job production, mass production. I'll define this, okay? Batch production. But what is a flow production? So it, not that, okay? Flow production is a continuous movement of items through, oh la la, continuous movement of items. I need to write better. Items, okay, through the production process. Okay. This means that when one task is finished, the next task must start immediately. So the time taken on each task must be the same. Okay. So let's write that if I can. So when one task ends, the second starts. And this means that the same time spent on each task. Okay. So what is job production? Job production is when you do an item from the beginning to the end without stop. I'll give you an example. For example, if you go to someone who is manual, okay, doing product with his hands, he will do this product. For example, a painting. He will paint an art image or a tableau or a postcard, or he will paint it from the beginning to the end. This is job production. If he do like 20, he will start one card. He will finish it completely before starting another one. This is job production. You have, once you start a job, you don't stop it until you finish it. This is job production. Another example, for example, if you go to a tailor, he will do a suit for you from the beginning to the end without stopping. So this is job production. But of course, he will do a suit for you, a suit for another one, and he's not doing the same suit for for all the people. He will do a suit with your size for you, and another one with another size to another person. So he needs to finish your job before starting another one. The mass production is doing the same product again and again for 1 million or 2 millions or 100,000 time, for example, a day. Why not? Batch production is different. But batch production is when you do, for example, 100 of same thing at once, and then you start another procedure. Okay. For example, if you go a bakery you would, for example, prepare 20 leaves of croissant. Okay, you prepare those. Oh God, la pâte. Those filled pastry for 50. Okay, so you have to work on that. You have to shape them for the 50 ones, and then you put them aside. Okay, and then you start to cook 50. Okay, you start to put in the oven 50. It means that this is batch production. You do like a job. You divide a job into different tasks, but you divide a job into different tasks for several items, okay? Not one or two, but for example, 100, okay? This is batch production. Flow production is a continuous movement of items, okay? So it's like doing a car in automotive. You will you have those big electronic arms that would do each step, each movement for an item. They would bring an item and put it in the first one, and put it an item and put it in the second one, and the car would go to a movement, and another arm would just place the door, and this car would go through another movement, and another arm would put, for example, a wheel, and this is a flow movement, okay? This is flow production. Okay, so now we need to calculate the value of X. The value of X being what? The acid test ratio. What is acid test ratio? We call it as well liquid assets ratio, okay? It is, let's write it down in here, okay? So acid, okay? Oh no, I see. Acid test ratio equal what? Equal what I said before, current assets, let's write that correctly, minus closing stocks, means closing stocks. I mean here, closing stocks is inventory, okay? The closing stocks is, for example, at the end of the year, what is your inventory, okay? Over what? Current liabilities. Oh, yes, let's do something. Current liabilities. Okay, if we consider just this, okay, this is, the whole is acid test ratio, but current assets on current liabilities is current ratio. Okay, this is what we had, ratio. Okay, this is what we have here, current ratio. Okay, this is it. It means that we consider, okay, we consider the stocks. Okay, it means that you have this. You consider the stocks. Of course, look here, 1,200, 1,200, it would equal 1. And 1,500 over 1,500 equal 1. Here, the current ratio would not change, because you do not know how much inventory you do have, okay? No, it's not that. You do not know how much inventory is included, okay? It might be the inventory that are rising, the numbers, okay? And current liabilities is the same. Okay, so current ratio is current asset over current liabilities. But acid test ratio, okay, this is current asset excluding inventory over liabilities. So it's 600 over 1,200. And in here, it's 500 over 1,500, okay? Let's go back. So I'm not having the numbers, so I need to turn my pages to have the numbers on my table. Okay, so now that I'm having the table, so acid test, test ratio, okay, ratio is equal 500, okay, because we've seen that it was 500 over 1,500 equal what? 0.33. What does acid test ratio means for us? It means that we will write that again. It's current asset minus closing stock over current liabilities. So this is liabilities. Okay? And this is the current net asset. Okay? Current asset minus stock. It means that current asset is 1/3, almost 1/3, okay, of liabilities. So it means liabilities, okay. It means that we don't have enough money, okay, to pay our liabilities. We have third less than liabilities to pay our debt, okay. This is the meaning of acid test ratio. Because if acid test ratio equal 1, it means that you can pay your, at least pay your liabilities. You have your current asset equal your current asset minus the stock is equal to your liabilities, equal to your loans, what you need to pay. If it's more than, for example, more than 1.5, it means that you have money and more than your liabilities, okay? Starting from 1, it's good for your company. Less than 1, it's bad for your company, okay? To know if you need to compare between two companies, so you need to look at it. So actually, we need to put here 30% or 33.33%. Okay? No, not there is no percent here, sorry. Okay? The next question is briefly explain the change in YP liquidity position. Okay. In here, you've seen that YP may not be able to pay short-term debt, as we've seen that current asset is third of liabilities, okay? So inventory has less value than accounted, okay? So this is what acid test ratio can show you, okay? So in 2014, YP had $600,000 of inventory, but in 2015, it's holding 1 million of inventories. Look at the table. We go back to the table. I'm reading the table. Look at this. Okay. In here, in 2014, you have to know the assets, okay, to know the stocks. So you have current asset including inventory and current asset excluding inventory, okay. So if you do the minus, it means that the inventory in 2000, so 1200 minus 600 equal 600 in 2014. Okay, why I did that? Because here you have current asset including inventory and current asset excluding inventory. It means that if you minus that, that minus that, you would find just the inventory, okay? It's like writing this. Look, go down, it's asset plus inventory minus asset. Okay, it's equal to just inventory. So in this case, in 2014, you have 6,000. Don't forget those. Okay, dollars. And in 2015, we should do the same. Is 1,500 minus 500. So 1,500 minus 500 equal 1,000 plus, of course, it means $1 million. So in 2015, we have a lot of inventory. Okay, we have even more than in 2014. The inventory, you are able to have cash flow with by selling inventory, but that would take you time. Okay, so if we go back to the question, the change in YP liquidation position. So we can write down here that YP may be not able, okay, not, okay, able to pay its debt. Okay, we've seen that from here. Okay, the current asset is third of liabilities, so it doesn't have what? Cash flow, assets to be able to pay the liabilities. Okay, and in 2014, held $600,000 of inventory. Okay, inventory, but in 2015, okay, is holding $1 million of inventory. Okay, this may affect the ability to pay short-term debt if the inventory has less value than accounted. Okay, because the inventory may, okay, I write it first, inventory may lose what? Inventory may lose its value. Okay, and this is what, oh yeah, I was about to add something, but I just forgot. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go further. The liquidity position has not changed because the current ratio is still 1.1. So YP has the same ability to meet its short-term debt. Let's go back and explain that. Okay. Current ratio is still 1. It doesn't mean anything. If you see that, that doesn't give enough information at this one. Here, there is a position of current ratio. Current ratio is what the current asset, including inventories, over what liabilities. It means that if you sell the inventories, you would be able to pay it. But if you don't, you can't pay it, okay? Okay, next question is analyze two economies of scale from which YP may benefit. So, what is the economy of scale? Economy of scale is if you sell a lot, you gain, update, really no. Later, try in 1 hour, okay? Oh, close. Okay, just leave it. I don't want to create a problem. Two economies of scale from which ZP may benefit. Okay, so if you, an economy of scale, an example of economy of scale, when you sell a lot, you can sell at a reduced price, but you are going to benefit from the volume of sales. Like, okay, let's give an example. If you sell only 5 items and you gain £1 on each item, you will have £5. Okay, this is profit margin. If you sell, for example, 100 of items and you reduce the price, for example, 0.25, how much do you think you have? Okay, how much? So, and you have £25,000. Okay, even if you, for example, your item doesn't cost £1, it costs £25. Okay, let's make it even more pound. 25 fois 5, okay, so you do have 125. 5 fois 5, 25. Ok. 5 fois 2, 10 et 2, 5 fois 5, 25. 5 fois 2, 10 et 2, 12. Equal 125. I'm not good at mental calculation. So you gain only 125. But if you reduce the price, look, from 25 to 25p, 25 pound to 25p, but you sell 100,000, look, the difference, okay? This is the economy of scale, okay? You sell with a reduced price, but you sell a big volume, and this is where you gain a lot of money, okay? So, the purchasing economy, we said analyze two economies of scale from which YP might benefit. Okay, the first one is purchasing economy. What is purchasing economy? If you, for example, I'm thinking of an example. Let's say that you go to Tesco, no, not Tesco, to a merchant and you ask him to buy one item for £5. But this merchant has a lot of inventory, okay? And he will ask you to buy 25 for less than £5. For example, for £1. So you do an economy if you purchase a big volume, okay? So purchasing economy. So you can discuss the price if you buy a big volume. And we've seen, what we have seen, that obviously YP hold a big stock, 1 million, okay? And 600,000, it's huge. And it is reasonable to suggest that they benefit from bulk buy-in, okay? Components leading to lower units cost, okay? That might lead to holding obstacle stock. It's right that you do have a big stock, but at least your items would cost less. So your final product would cost less as well, okay? So let's continue. Purchasing economy, we explain it. You will have a lot of stock, of course, but at least the stock would cost less and your item, the final item, would cost less. The second economy of scale is technical economies. What is technical economies? YP is large enough to benefit from capital intensive, okay? So large to benefit from capital. And it is a capital intensive. No, sorry, it's not the right word. Okay, oops, capital intensive. Okay, so flow production line, so they can produce at a lower unit cost compared to a business that cannot justify a flow production line. Okay, so so they may go benefit from production, flow production. Okay, to reduce what? They have already a purchasing economy, okay? Their items are costing less. So if they use the flow production, the last item, the final item, the finished item, will cost less. So they can benefit from price elasticity, for example. Okay. YP can afford technology to implement mass customization, leading to more variation in product, okay? Because if you offer different colors, different features, different to your product, you are going to sell it better, okay? Look at your iPhone with application, colors, shapes, dimensions, okay? Those are sometimes what the purchaser would look for, okay? So you have mass customization. No. Sorry. Okay. As YP benefit from technology, they have that technology. Okay. So what they have, wider range of products. So a larger client segments, market segments. Okay. Okay. Now, financial economies. It can be assumed, we don't have any data about it, but we can assume that YP may gain some financial economies from the economy of scale, of course. And if they require finance for the new production line, so there is more chance of gaining the finance for this and perhaps a lower interest rate, therefore lower cost, okay? And the marketing economies, okay? We don't have as well here, this is why I left them for the last. We do have those data, but we assume that YP may gain some marketing economies when expanding internationally, okay? If they go to the country A, they might have more, because we don't have any data about the country A, okay? I'm returning my papers, and there's no, yes, okay. It's fine. So consumers is unlikely to be in context, okay? So let's see that in another case study, okay? And managerial. Economies. In this case, we have specialized operation managers, okay, finance and marketing managers. This would increase efficiency and knowledge in these roles, and that would lead to cost saving and better quality of work. If you have knowledge, okay, if you have skills, then sometimes you can avoid a lot of losses, okay, and mistakes and misproduction, okay? This is a big economy to the company, okay? As marketing, if you have some data and you have, you know your market perfectly. So next question is discuss the advantage and disadvantage to YP selling phones to retailer in country A. Let's go back to what we have been given. Okay, so YP use capital-intensive flow production, computer-aided manufacturing CAM, and mass customization allow YP to produce different design phone on the same production line. This is an advantage for this company, okay? YP managers have differing opinions about the recent success of the company. The operation director, Khan, is pleased with the economies of scale from which YP benefits. However, Jay, the finance director, is worried about the liquidity position. We've seen here the liquidity position. YP has only sold phones to national retailers, but an opportunity has arisen to sell into another market, country A. A large retailer from country A would like to make regular purchases from YP. Khan knows that YP can increase production. That's a possibility. So that's an advantage to meet this demand by introducing a new production line. However, YP would also need to gain more international business to make this new product line profitable. Okay. Faith, the marketing director, has no experience of international markets and is concerned about the differences between marketing to national retailers compared to retailers in other countries. That is a disadvantage. This Faith should, okay, what she do should do a marketing research about the country A, but you have an advantage of a large retailer from country, like to make a regular purchase, okay? So the question was, okay, let's go back to here. Discuss the advantages and disadvantages to YP of selling phones to the retailer in country A. So if the company YP sells to retailer in country A, it means that it is going to rise its sales, okay? So you have a new market. Okay, let's hold the pen better. New market, okay? Leads to increased sales. Okay, this is really good. Even if the marketing director doesn't know her this country, but you have already a retailer, a big retailer, as said there, increase sales. No, without them. Okay, so you are going to increase your sales. This is A, okay? So, and increase profit. If you increase sales, you are going to have more cash flow, okay? And increase profit. So if you have more profit, you can pay your liabilities, okay? More cash flow, more better payment, better possibility to pay your liabilities. So the international, what do you have? the retailer, let's recall that this retailer is a big one, could allow YP to split the risk of their current operation. Okay, why? Because they would divide the risks between the country they are living in and the country A. So you are reducing the risk of management, okay, and the risk of operation as well, okay? So the international retailer could allow, oh, sorry. Could allow YP to spread the risk, the risks with plural, okay, let's put it in plural, on their current operation. Management operations. So the business may be less susceptible to changes in the domestic market and domestic competitors, okay? That may lead also to increasing economy of scales, lowering again the unit of cost, because you are going to rise the production, rise of production, of unit production, sorry. Of units production. So rise the economy of scale, okay? So what you are going to do, reduce the price of, no, the cost of the item, not the price, sorry. The cost of the item. So you have a bigger profit margin. Ooh la la. Oh la la. Okay. The cost of the item. So you have what? A rise of profit margin for the item, for each item. Okay, so a rise in total profit margin. Okay. What we said here is if you rise the production, you would rise the economy of scale, you would reduce the cost of the items, and it means that you go to your retailer and ask him to buy from him a bigger quantity, and you discuss the price. Okay, I will buy again a bigger quantity, but you reduce by 10%. And then your items are 10% less. So your last item, your finished product, would cost 10% less, okay? So you would have 10% more in the profit margin, okay? So the international retailer is willing to make regular purchases, okay? So the security of revenue, okay? So regular international purchases means what? Security of revenue. Oh, sorry. Okay, means security. Should not write fast, but I want to finish fast. Security in revenues. Okay. And this would give a brighter future, an opportunity for future growth. Okay. If you have an increase in the profit, you have security in revenues. Okay, so you can buy new machinery or invest in research and development, and you start a new line again for flow production, and you have a growth actually. Okay, let's see the disadvantages. Advantages. Okay. Yeah. Advantage. YP would have to invest in a new production line, which means a large capital injection, okay? Because they don't have this, they need, as said here, they need to, what have been said is, okay, a new production line to meet this demand by introducing a new production line. If you introduce a new production line, you mean investment, you mean money to inject again, okay? But they are short of money, so they need a loan or maybe sell shares, okay, or crowdfunding to gather the money to be able to meet the demand, okay? So YP would have to invest a new production line, which may mean a large capital injection and a new source of finance. Okay, this is what I said: crowdfunding, a loan, selling shares. Okay, disadvantages is one. Let's write the disadvantages up just next to it because I'm not having much place. Okay, let's write it here. Disadvantage. Okay. Disadvantage is YP would invest for a new production line. Okay, this is what has been said here, a new production line. And this means a new investment, okay, or capital injection. In capital injection in what? In the production line, and then new sources of finance, like I said. Okay. The second disadvantage is there may be different legal requirements and standards for phones in international market. YP may have to change their production methods and their product to be successful. For example, if YP is in a country that would speaks Latin or English, French, Italian, and they are going to sell in China or Korea or in an Arabic country, they have to change the language. They have to change a lot of features. They have to change maybe the colors, maybe the shapes, maybe okay. They have to adapt to the new market. So there is legal requirement as well, okay, and standards for phone in international market. So meet legal and standards. Standards, requirement. Okay, in country A, for country A, for A market. Okay, and have to, so YP may have to change the production methods, and if they change the production methods, it means that they have to inject money as well, and the production to be successful in this market, they have to retail new items as well. Okay. So the third disadvantage is marketing in international markets may be difficult due to social, cultural, and communication barriers. So social, cultural, and economical barrier. Okay. So here there is more risk there is risks for change, for international change. It's not like the country where everything is stable, international changes. Okay, and the last one is has experience of Faye, the director, marketing director, has no experience, okay, with the international retailers, so no marketing experience. Okay, and this will end our lesson today. I hope to meet you again, and hope that these lessons have been worth your time. Thank you so much, and goodbye.